You set a goal, drum up the motivation, and for the first few days, you easily find the energy to move the heavy iron. But by the second week, that initial excitement fades, and the sheer effort required to maintain the new habit becomes exhausting. Conventional productivity advice claims this is a failure of willpower. If you drop a diet or stop going to the gym, society tells you that you simply didn't want it badly enough. But human biology tells a very different story. Your brain doesn't care about your goals. It cares about conserving energy. It operates on the law of least effort. When confronted with two similar options, humans naturally and automatically gravitate toward the path requiring the least amount of work. Sticking to a routine of 100 push-ups demands a massive expenditure of physical energy. Lying on the couch and scrolling through your phone requires almost none. Being lazy is an incredibly effective evolutionary survival mechanism. To build better routines, you have to stop fighting your own physical wiring and start designing around it. This principle shapes behavior on a massive scale. In his research on human history, anthropologist Jared Diamond pointed out that the physical shape of the continents dictated the success of early civilizations. This map shows the landmass of Europe and Asia. The primary axis stretches almost entirely from east to west. Locations on the same latitude share similar climates, sunlight, and seasonal changes. Early farmers could domesticate a crop and expand it from France to China. The Americas and Africa run perpendicular to that. Their land masses stretch vertically from north to south. Traveling up and down those continents means passing through drastically different climates. You can be the most talented, motivated agriculturalist in the world, but your effort will not help you grow Florida oranges in the frozen soil of a Canadian winter. Expanding crops along vertical routes required discovering and domesticating completely new plants at every climate border. Because of this, agriculture spread twice as fast across Eurasia. Over thousands of years, the progress of human behavior was constrained entirely by the amount of physical friction in the environment. Fast forward to the 1970s, and Japanese manufacturing firms applied this exact geographic principle to the factory floor. They implemented lean production. Instead of pushing their employees to work harder, they ruthlessly redesigned the physical workspaces. They placed tools exactly where they were needed, so workers didn't waste seconds twisting or reaching. By the end of the decade, it took American workers 3 times as long to assemble a color television as their Japanese counterparts. Trying to pump up your motivation to stick with a hard habit is like trying to force water through a bent hose. You can temporarily turn up the pressure, but it causes immense strain. The alternative is to simply remove the bend in the hose and let the water flow. You achieve more by subtracting wasted effort than you do by artificially inflating your discipline. Modern technology companies build highly addictive products by weaponizing this exact concept. They scour everyday tasks to find and eliminate micro-frictions. Meal delivery platforms do not generate your hunger, and dating apps do not invent your desire for connection. They just compress the logistical steps required to get an outcome. Speaking a command to a voice-activated speaker replaced the effort of pulling a phone from a pocket, navigating to an app, and clicking a playlist. The British government leveraged this to increase tax collection. By sending taxpayers directly to a digital form, instead of making them click through an initial web page, the response rate jumped, yielding millions of pounds in revenue. The habits that consume the largest portion of your day are almost entirely those that have been explicitly engineered to be effortless. You can hijack this machinery to serve your own goals. IT developer Oswald Knuckles keeps his home meticulously organized using a strategy he calls resetting the room. When he leaves a space, he arranges the items to prepare for the next action rather than cleaning up after the last one. This is known as priming the environment. If you set your gym bag by the door, place a skillet on the stove the night before, or pre-chop vegetables for the week, you ensure the good habit becomes the path of least resistance. You can also invert the process. By actively injecting physical friction into your space, you can suffocate a bad habit. Unplug your television and remove the remote batteries after every use. Leave your smartphone physically in another room while you work in the morning. On their own, these adjustments seem trivial. But stacked together, dozens of these micro-frictions compound, shifting your behavior without requiring a single drop of willpower. Building a better routine isn't about punishing yourself until you succeed. It is about actively redesigning the space around you so that doing the right thing is the easiest possible option.